Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Ma'am.
thank you. Okay. So we were discussing the transmission systems, isn't it? In the last class, we discussed about the overhead transmission lines, isn't it? So, 1 minute. Okay, in the last class, we discussed the overhead transmission line. And what did we discuss about the overhead transmission line? The volume of conductor material required for different types of overhead transmission lines, isn't it? We considered these types of overhead transmission lines as the conductor material cost is huge. So the transmission system cost, the conductor cost comprises a major cost of transmission system. So we have seen for which system the volume of conductor material is less or it is more. Okay, and we compared actually 10 types of systems. DC system, then single phase AC system, then two-phase AC system, and then three-phase AC system. Okay. And just to recapitulate, we have taken certain things constant because when we want to compare one system with the other, we have to keep something as constant. Those were the total power transmission we have considered, because we'll be discussing today actually the underground transmission system, underground cables, the volume of conductor material required for underground cables. So same thing should be kept constant. There is only one difference. Okay. See, P, total power transmitted is P, just like the overhead transmission line. The distance of transmission is L. The power loss is also kept constant, P loss, and the voltage should be kept constant. But which voltage? In overhead transmission line, we considered maximum voltage between each conductor and earth. That means for three-phase system, consider the phase voltage, maximum phase voltage to be constant. Okay. But here in underground cables, we'll consider maximum voltage between two conductors. Okay, not between one conductor and ground, between two conductors. That means in three-phase transmission line, we'll consider the line voltage to be constant. Okay, maximum. So this is the only difference from overhead transmission line. In overhead transmission line, we kept the maximum voltage between the conductor and earth to be constant. For underground cables, we'll consider maximum voltage between two conductors to be constant. Okay. Am I audible properly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. If you cannot hear my voice, please raise your voice. Okay. Okay. Now, underground cables. You can see DC system. Okay. First, we start with the DC system. DC two-wire system. You know there are three DC systems. One is DC two-wire system. Another is DC two-wire with midpoint earth. Another is DC three-phase system. Now, those who have studied the last day's class know they will understand, I think, properly. But others, you need to study. Okay. I told you in the last class that before coming to the next class, you have to study. Okay. Though I will discuss again thoroughly, no problem. Now, DC two-wire system. So, simple equation, power is P is V into I. Now, for DC, Vm and V are all the same because there is no RMS. So, we'll consider Vm into I. So, I1 is P by Vm. I1 is considered for the first system. So, the way of approach is exactly same. First, you find out what is I. Then you find out what is the loss. Loss is actually for each line, it is I square R. So, for two lines, it will be 2I square R. Then substitute the value of I1 from here, and for every resistance you substitute it by rho L by A, where rho and L are constants, but A is the variable. Okay, actually we'll be we want to find out A, because volume of conductor material is actually A into L into number of conductors. So L is constant, so it will be directly proportional to A. So as all these are constants, only A is the variable. So we will find out A in terms of all these variables. Okay. So power loss is 2I square R. From here we will find out rho L by A. So A1 we are getting this one. So what is the volume of conductor material required? As there are two conductors, it is twice into L. For one conductor L, for two conductors twice into L. So it is twice into A1 L. Just substitute the value of A1, you will get this one. It will be K. Actually, you will find there is no difference between overhead transmission system and underground cables here. Why? Because difference is only in the choice of voltage, isn't it? But here, voltage between one conductor and earth, so this one is earth, voltage between one conductor and earth is same as the voltage between two conductors. Okay, so there is no change with respect to the overhead transmission line. So overhead transmission line also, this was K. Now we'll consider DC two-wire system with midpoint earth. Okay, see the midpoint here is earth. No earth where is available. Okay, only the midpoint is earth. So what will be the difference? Actually, in overhead transmission line, you should have considered Vm to be the voltage between this conductor and the earth point. Okay, but here in underground cables, we'll consider Vm to be the voltage between maximum voltage between two conductors. So here the difference occurs. In overhead transmission line, you have considered this voltage. See, if you remember, in overhead transmission lines, you have considered, see, this one Vm, this one Vm. Okay. This is the difference. So one difference will come. Where will the difference come? Because here you will find is in the previous in overhead transmission line you have written this was twice Vm. Here was twice Vm into I, but here P equal to Vm into I only. Okay. So what will be I2? P by Vm. What is the power loss? Power loss will occur only in these two conductors because there are no other conductors. It is two-wire system. So simple 2I2 square R. So substitute the value of I2 from here and then substitute the value of R by rho L by A. Okay. So power loss is this one. So you just write A in terms of other constants. So what will be A? A is this one. Okay. Now volume of
ম্যাম
conductor.
একজন জয়েন করতে চাইছে।
Okay. Okay, you should join in time. Okay. So volume of conductor material is same twice A2 into L. So it is twice A2 into L. So substitute the value of A2, you will get this one. Okay. So
Ma'am, your
as
voice is breaking, ma'am.
it was problem yesterday also. Headphone is not working. Anyway, I am bringing the headphone just for 1 minute. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sometimes it may happen that you won't be able to hear my voice because I won't be able to know. So you please write in the chat box or ring me, okay? If you don't hear my voice, okay? Chat box I won't be able to see also. Anyway, so I will very often ask you whether you are being able to hear me. Please answer. Okay. Hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You are audible.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yesterday, what happened actually? I was teaching for 5 minutes. Then I asked whether you are being able to hear me. No answer. For 5 minutes I was just asking, and the internet connection was also okay. So somehow my headphone was not working. That I discovered later on. Okay. So after every 5 or 10 minutes, I will ask, anybody from you will answer. Should okay. So DC two-wire system with midpoint earth. Okay. So you have understood that this is also K, because there is no difference from this two-wire without midpoint and with midpoint. There is absolutely no difference. Okay, because voltage is same in both the cases and the number of wires is also same. So derivation is exactly same as that of the first one. Now DC three-wire system. In DC three-wire system, what is the difference? Difference is only that there is one neutral conductor. Okay, it is a three-wire system, so another conductor is available. So the initial part is same, I P equal to Vm into I. So you find out I3. Then what about line losses? Line losses is also same, I square R, 2I square R, because no current is flowing through the neutral conductor, because we will consider balanced system. So we generally neglect the losses in the conductor, neutral conductor. So up to this, it is same as that of the previous two cases. You see, A3 is twice P square rho L by P loss Vm square. Here also A was exactly A2 or A1 was exactly same. But where the difference will lie, as it is a three-wire system, so you have to consider the volume of the third conductor also, neutral conductor. As we have discussed in the last class, that as the cross-sectional area is decided on the basis of the current density means I by A. So if the current is more, cross-sectional area is more. Okay. If current is less, cross-sectional area is less. So here the current is almost zero under balanced condition. Even under unbalanced condition, the current is very small. So the cross-sectional area is generally provided half that of the outer two conductors. Okay. So two conductors twice A into L. For the third conductor, it will be 0.5 A into L. Okay. So it makes 2.5 A3 into L. So if we put 2.5 here, there will be the difference. Instead of 2 in the previous two cases, it is 2.5. So the total volume will be 1.25 K. Okay. So this is actually the volume of the conductor material. It is 25% more than that of the previous two conductors. Okay. So this is all about DC system. I hope you have understood DC system. Then I will proceed for the AC system. Please answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, no problem.
Okay. Thank you. So now single phase AC system. Single phase AC system is also simple, but what will be the difference? There will be one RMS value. You know, in DC RMS maximum is only same. It will is Vm only. Here you have to convert Vm, divide Vm by √2, because power is V into I. Another term will come, cos phi, power factor. So P equal to Vi cos phi, and V is the RMS value. So put Vm by √2. So what will be I? P by Vm by √2 cos phi. Simple equation. Okay. And other things will remain same. What will be power loss? Power loss will be only two conductors are there, 2I square R. Simply substitute I from here and substitute rho L by A4 for the fourth system in place of R. So you are getting this one. Okay. So one extra term you will be getting instead of, because √2 was not there in the DC systems. So this extra 2 term will come. Okay. Previously, perhaps you got here 2 only. Extra √2 square, that means 2 term is coming. So actually area of cross section, then you write A in terms of all other constants, and volume of conductor material only 2 conductors. So twice A4L. Just substitute the value of A4 from here. Okay. Exactly, the approach is exactly same for all the systems. Okay. So just substitute the value of A4 from here. So what you will find? you will find that the expression is coming as this one. So expression is this one. Okay, so one extra term 2 is coming because I have told you have considered Vm by root 2. You have not considered that Vm by 2 in the DC2 system. Okay, so that root 2 it becoming square, so one extra 2 term is coming. So you are getting twice k by cos square phi. Okay, so you can understand that the volume of conductor material required for AC system is AC single phase system is 2 times more than that of DC 2S system. Single phase 2S system. This is single phase 2S system, and it is even more than 2 times because cos theta is generally less than 1, very near and less than 1. So it is actually more than 2 times. Okay. So from here you can conclude the volume of conductor material. If you want to compare the AC and DC system, in DC system it is less. Then comes the AC single phase system, single phase 2-wire system with midpoint earth. Okay. So the midpoint is earth only, but there is no extra conductor. So the approach, initial approach is same as that of the previous one. Voltage is Vm by root 2 RMS voltage. So what will be the load current? I equal to, actually P equal to Vi cos phi, V equal to Vm by root 2. So I is actually equal to P by Vm by root 2 cos phi. Okay. So it is becoming root 2 P by cos phi. So other expressions are same. P loss is 2I square R. So 2 conductors only. So you are getting this expression. So area of cross section, actually what you are getting, area of cross section, this one, and volume of conductor material is also same because only 2 conductors are there. So twice A5 into S. So the whole approach is exactly same as that of the previous one. Okay, AC single phase without midpoint earth. Okay, so conductor material required for AC system to AC 2-wire systems. There are 2 types of AC 2-wire systems. For both the systems, the amount of conductor material is same. Okay, but this was not the case for overhead transmission line. Why? In overhead transmission line there was difference because in overhead transmission line this was the voltage to be kept constant between one conductor and earth, but here due to the earth point the voltage is changing. This voltage is twice Vm, so P was equal to twice Vm by I. But here what is happening? P is equal to only Vm by I. Okay. So you are getting this one. Now the third system, AC 3-wire system. AC 3-wire system, the whole derivation is not shown here because the initial part is exactly same. Because 3-wire system means we will consider the neutral conductor, but there will be no power loss in the neutral conductor as there is no current. So up to the power loss expression, up to this expression, it will be exactly same. Only 2I squared R. And the area of cross section will be 4 P square rho by P loss Vm square cos phi. You see 4 P square, it is not written here, but it will be exactly same as that of this one. Only in place of A5 you should write A6. Okay. So you should express cross sectional area. A6 will also be same. So what will be the volume of conductor material? Only difference will come. Instead of this 2, you should write 2.5. The reason I have discussed earlier. So it is 2.5 A4L. And what is A4? A4 is 4 P square rho L by this one. Okay, exactly you substitute here in place of A6. So ultimately in terms of K, you are getting 2.5 times K by cos square phi. So you can see in case of AC single phase 3-wire system, volume of conductor material required is more than 2.5 times. Okay. Then AC 2-wire system, 2-wire systems, both AC 2-wire systems. Okay. Now, if you have understood these 3 types of single phase AC system, I will go to 2-phase AC system. Is it clear? Or if you want me to repeat some portion, I can repeat if you have any confusion. So someone please raise your voice if you have understood or if you have not understood.
ম্যাম ওভারহেডে 2 ভিএম ধরছিল, এখানে কেন ভিএম ধরছে শুধু?
Because the reason was discussed earlier. The reason was that in overhead transmission line, what voltage was considered? Voltage was considered between one conductor and earth, isn't it? So here one conductor is this one and this is earth. Okay, so this voltage was considered. But in overhead transmission, in underground cables, it is mentioned that voltage between two conductors should be considered. Here it is written, and maximum voltage between each conductor and earth remains constant for overhead transmission line, and maximum voltage between two conductors remains same for underground cables. And if you need to know why this is kept constant, the reasoning is also provided here. Okay, it is also provided here. It is 1 minute where the reasoning is given. Let me see. Yes, the reasoning is given here. In overhead transmission system, just read this one, just 1 minute. So it is mentioned that in overhead system of transmission, the conductors are insulated from the cross arms and supporting towers. Since the towers and cross arms are arched, therefore maximum voltage between each conductor and earth forms a basis of comparison. Okay, so in transmission lines, they are connected to the towers which are arched. So the voltage between one conductor and earth is considered. But in underground cables, maximum disruptive stress between the conductors is considered. Okay, so the maximum voltage between conductors form the basis of comparison. So you will find here everywhere we have considered Vm to be the voltage between one conductor and the earth. Okay, in overhead transmission line. So, but for calculation purpose, we will use this voltage, isn't it? Because power is transmitted by both these two lines. So, we will consider the voltage between the two lines. Okay, so P is equal to 2 Vm into I. But this is not the case with underground cables. We will consider Vm to be the voltage between the two conductors. So, P equal to Vm into I. Of course, cos theta. Okay, not Vm into I for three-phase AC system. It is Vi cos theta. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now we'll proceed to DC single phase three-phase. I think I've discussed three-phase system. So I will go now for AC two-phase four-wire system. The derivation is not shown here. I will discuss the derivation. You can do it, or if you have copy, you can write it down. It is same as that of the overhead transmission line, but difference will definitely occur in the consideration of voltage. See, here Vm is considered between the voltage between the two conductors, and you know AC two-phase system means just like in three-phase system, there are three phases. One differs from the other by 120 degree under balanced condition. The voltages are same, but magnitudes are same, but the phase difference is 120 degree from each other. In two-phase system also, there are two phases whose voltage magnitudes are same, but the voltage difference is 90 degree. So actually here this is one phase. Okay, at the midpoint is connected. So this is one phase. The voltage is Vm because between the conductors the voltage is considered. I am comparing with the overhead transmission line. In overhead transmission line, voltage between the conductor and the earth was considered to be Vm, so it was twice Vm. But here voltage between the conductors has been considered, so this is Vm. Okay, and this is the other phase. Okay, this is also Vm. So under balanced condition, whatever current I7 is entering through this phase, it is leaving through the other conductor of the same phase, and in the other phase, whatever current is entering from here, that current is leaving through here. Okay, so in all the four conductors, same current I7 is flowing. Same current means magnitude, but the current here will differ in phase from here by 90 degree. But phase consideration you need not consider here, because you need to, there is no neutral wire. So you need not consider the, if you consider magnitudes only, it will be enough. So what is the, now just in three-phase system, if you want to do the calculations on per phase basis, then what do? The total, if P is the total power, what is the power transferred by each phase? It is P by 3. Then you can write P by 3 is equal to V phase, I phase, cos phi, isn't it? Where V phase is the phase voltage, I phase is the current in each phase. Okay, here also you can write the same equation. P by 2, there are two phases, so power in each phase is P by 2. So P by 2 equal to Vm into I7 cos phi. Simple equation. The voltage across this phase is Vm. So Vm I7 cos phi. Okay. But here there was one difference because it was twice Vm. Okay. And one thing you have to consider, because it is AC system, so instead of Vm you have to write Vi cos phi, isn't it? So actually P by 2 equal to Vi cos phi. So Vm by root 2 cos phi. Okay. So you'll start with the equation P by 2 equal to Vm by root 2 I7 cos phi. So then write what is I7. Just like this one, you do it by yourself. Only this 2 will not come. So this 2 will not come. So I7 will be only P by root 2 Vm cos phi. Power loss will be same, because here also there are 4 conductors. So power loss you have to calculate for all the 4 conductors. So it is 4 I7 square into R. Okay, because you have to consider each conductor separately. For each conductor it is I7 square R. So next you have to write this equation, P loss equal to 4 I7 square R. Only this 2 will not come. Okay, the other expression will remain same. So if this 2 is not coming, this 4 will not cancel. Okay, one, I think one, it was 1 4 will be there here, 1 2 will be there ultimately in the numerator. Okay, and what will be the area of cross section? It will be same. You write A7 in terms of this one, and volume of conductor material, actually it is a 4-phase 4-wire system. So volume is 4 A7 into L. So 4 A7 into L, what you will see, you will get what expression? What will be the difference? I told you that everything is same, only this 2 will not be coming. Now if you can understand, if this 2 is not coming, so this will not cancel. So there will be 2 in the numerator instead of denominator. Isn't it? Can you understand? If in the underground cable you have seen, this 2 is not there. So if this 2 is not there, this 2 will not be here. So if this 2 is not here, instead of 2, what will happen? Say this 2 is not here. So this root 2 square becomes 2. It will cancel and 2 will be there in the denominator. So instead of is in the numerator. So instead of this 2, you will be having 2 in the numerator, isn't it? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you solve it by your own, then it will be more, it will be clearer. So instead of this 2 in the denominator, there will be 1 2 in the numerator. So if there is 1 2 in the numerator instead of this one, you will have 2k by cos square phi. So exactly you are getting 2k by cos square phi. Okay. So you do the derivation by yourself. I think there will be no difficulty, because it is a simple system, balanced system, and all the conductors have identical currents, have identical cross-sectional area and everything. Okay, because there is no neutral conductor. Okay, now comes the complex system, that is the AC 2-phase 3-wire system. In the last class also I have discussed this one in detail. Today also I will discuss this one in detail. Okay. Now, this is a special system. It is different from all other systems because though it is having one neutral conductor, okay, this is a neutral conductor, but in all other systems you have seen under ballast condition, there is no current in the neutral conductor because you know, in three-phase 4-wire system also under ballast condition, IA plus IB plus IC equal to 0. So current in the neutral conductor is 0, so you need not consider the power loss in the neutral conductor
Ma'am,
in
your
three-phase
voice was
system
break.
also. Oh, again it is breaking.
No, ma'am, it
Okay,
is
let me,
coming clearly.
okay. Okay, if somebody cannot hear you, also confirm me because I won't be able to understand whether it is my problem and the student won't be able to understand whether it is his internet connection problem. Okay, okay, thank you. So, so others, can you hear me properly or the voice is breaking? Any other voice?
Maybe it's okay.
It's okay. Okay, thank you. So, unlike all other systems, this system is a special system because in the even under ballast condition, you will find some current is flowing in the neutral conductor, and not only that, the current is more than the current carried by the other two conductors. Okay, the outer conductors. Why? Because you know the voltage. Say this is A phase, this is B phase. So VA, if VA is in the y-axis, VB is in the x-axis. Okay, but their magnitudes are same. Say the magnitude is V. So what is the resultant voltage? Resultant voltage is the voltage between this one and this one. So what is the resultant voltage? If one voltage V is in the y-axis, another voltage V is in the x-axis. So what is the resultant voltage? It is root 2 V, isn't it? One V in the y-axis, another V in the x-axis. So the resultant is root 2V. Now, what is the difference in approach? I am considering the other last days approach. In the last day, you have seen that if this is VM, this is also VM. But what is the voltage between this point and this point? It is actually root 2 VM, isn't it? It is actually, hello, any problem?
No,
Okay,
ma'am.
it is okay. Thank you. It is actually root 2 VM. Okay, but because here in the overhead transmission line, you have considered VM to be the voltage between one conductor and this earth point. But today we have considered the voltage between two conductors. So this point and this point is VM. So what is the voltage in each phase? It is VM by root 2, isn't it? The voltage in one phase is Vm by root 2, in the other phase is Vm by root 2. So addition, a vector addition of these two voltages will make it Vm only. Is it clear this point? Is it clear? If you have any confusion, you can ask. No confusion. Sure. Please.
It's okay.
Okay. So
It is okay,
actually,
ma'am.
okay, thank you. So actually, this voltage is Vm by root 2, this voltage is Vm by root 2, so the resultant voltage is Vm. Okay. So I have written in the reverse way. So we have considered this is Vm. So voltage here is Vm by root 2, voltage here is Vm by root 2. Okay. Now, what is the, so this is so maximum voltage between outer and neutral wire is Vm by root 2. Why this root 2 has come? This root 2 has come due to the conversion of this, if we call this one line voltage, into phase voltage. Okay. Not that you are converting this maximum to RMS value. Don't get confused. This root 2 is not coming due to the conversion of maximum to RMS value. This is coming due to the conversion of the voltage from the outer two conductors to the voltage between one conductor and the neutral. So it is written maximum voltage between either outer and neutral is this one. Now, as this is a system, we have to consider the RMS voltage between either outer and neutral. So again, we have to divide it by √2. Okay, so what we have done, RMS voltage between the outer and neutral, we have divided it by √2. So it is becoming Vm by 2. Actually, RMS voltage between the outer and neutral is Vm by √2 into √2. One √2 for conversion of this voltage to the phase value. Another conversion is due to the conversion, another √2 is due to the conversion of the phase value to the RMS value. Okay. A maximum value to the RMS value. Okay. So it is coming Vm by √2. Vm by 2. Now, next step is easy. Load current in the outer two conductors. Now you write the equation. Just like you write the equation in three-phase system. P by 3 equal to V phase, I phase, cos phi. So here you will write, as this is two-phase system, P by 2 equal to this Vm by 2 into I into cos phi. Because this is the RMS voltage between outer and neutral. So from there you can get what is I8. I8 will be P by Vm by cos phi. Okay, P by Vm cos phi. This will be the current through the outers, in both the outers. Now, before calculating the power loss, P loss, in all the other cases we have considered only 2I²R because current in the neutral was 0. But here we have to consider the power loss in the neutral because the current in the neutral, always that is current in the neutral. Let us see what will be the current in the neutral. Just as we found the voltage, here also if the current here in this phase is I8, current in this phase is I8, what will be the current through the neutral? Current through the neutral will be root over of I8 square plus I8 square. Isn't it? Because in three-phase system, how to find current through the neutral? IN equal to IA plus IB plus IC. Here also IN equal to IA plus IB, and this both are I8 and they are perpendicular to each other. So it is just √2 I8. The net resultant current flowing through the neutral is √2 I8 under balanced condition. Okay. Now current in the neutral is √2 times more. And I have told that current density is kept constant. So it is I by A. So if current increases by √2 times, the cross-sectional area A should be increased by √2 times also. Otherwise, how current density I by A will remain constant? Okay. So if the neutral current is √2 times the outer, that of the outer conductors, the cross-sectional area of the neutral wire is also √2 times that of the outer conductors. Okay, the reasoning is given here. So cross-sectional area is also √2 times. Now, if the cross-sectional area is √2 times, what will be the resistance in the neutral wire? Because you know resistance is inversely proportional to cross-sectional area A. So if A is √2 times more, so the resistance will be inversely proportional to √2. So it is written, it will be R8 by 2, isn't it? If the current in the neutral wire is √2 I8, what will be the resistance of the neutral conductor? It will be R8 by √2 because the area is √2 times and it is in the denominator. Okay. So what will happen? The power loss is now, why we have calculated these things, the current in the neutral wire and the resistance of the neutral wire or the cross-sectional area of the neutral wire, because for finding the power loss, we need to know this loss in the neutral also. So we have to add first in the outer conductors 2 I8 square R8. So for the neutral conductors, you have to write IN square into RN. What is IN? It is √2 I8. So we write √2 I8 whole square. And what is RN? RN equal to R8 by √2. So we write R8 by √2. Then it is coming I8 square R8. We are taking common. It is 2 plus √2. Okay. So instead of considering only the outer conductors, you have to add the power loss in the neutral conductor also. So the now express A8, substitute R8 by rho L by 8, it is same. Now find out A8 in terms of other constants and you will get this expression. Okay. Now up to this, do you have any confusion? Anybody? Please raise your voice. I will wait for 30 seconds, then I will proceed. So I hope everybody have understood up to this one. Is I am audible properly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. So this is the cross-sectional area. Again, I am repeating what we are doing. First, we are finding the power equation. Only there will be two equations at the initial stage. P by 2 equal to Vi cos phi. Just we have done P by 2 equal to Vi cos phi. We have to find what is V. Okay. V is actually Vm by root 2 by root 2. 1 Vm by root 2 for conversion of the outer voltages to phase voltage. Another root 2 will be for the conversion of maximum voltage to RMS voltage. So use the equation P equal to this one. So from there find out I8. Next, for finding out the power loss, we are doing all these middle steps. Actually, power loss means this is simple. 2I8 square RD, the outer loss. But for considering the power loss in the neutral, you have to add IN square into RN. So we have to find out IN. IN is root 2 I8. RN is actually 1 by root 2 times, because the cross-sectional area is root 2 times the outers, as the current density is kept constant. So simply to find out the loss in this neutral conductor, we have derived these things. And the reasoning are given here. You can easily understand. So ultimately, we are getting this expression. I8. Okay, 8. Now, what is the volume of the conductor material required? Similarly, in volume, we have always considered the volume of the neutral conductor. So, instead of writing only twice 8 into L, we have to add 1 N into L. N is the cross-sectional area of the neutral conductor. And what is its relation with 8? It is actually root 2 times. So, we are adding this one twice 8L plus root 2 8 into L. Okay, because root 2 8 is the cross-sectional area of the neutral conductor. Why it is root 2 8? Because the current carried by neutral conductors is root 2 times the current carried by the two conductors. Okay, so they have simplified this one and they have found out in terms of K, it is 2.914 K by cos square phi. So you can easily see, though in the AC two-phase 3-wire system, we are using 3 conductors only, but still the volume required is more than the AC two-phase 4-wire conductor. It is only 2, but here it is 2.914, almost 3 times. Okay, so this is the derivation for the conductor material required for the AC two-phase 3-wire conductor. Now we will move to the other two-phase systems, AC 3-phase 3-wire system. Now I think up to this it is clear for all of you. Is it clear? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Now AC 3-phase 3-wire system. It is very simple and known to you, AC 3-phase 3-wire system. So AC 3-phase 3-wire system is very simple. What is the difference from the other overhead transmission line? In overhead transmission line, we considered Vm to be the voltage between the outer conductor and the earth conductor. Okay. But here we will consider the voltage between outer conductor. That means line voltage is considered as Vm. Okay. In the overhead transmission line, we considered phase voltage to be Vm. But here we will consider the line voltage to be Vm. Also between these conductors, it is Vm, this is also Vm. So what is the voltage between one conductor and neutral? That is phase voltage, you know. Phase voltage is Vm by root 3. Okay. So if we use the equation that P by 3 equal to V phase, I phase, cos phi, then you have to write what is Vs, V phase. It is Vm by root 3, but this is actually maximum value of the phase voltage. But you need to write V phase is actually RMS value of the phase voltage. So to make it RMS, you have to divide it by root 2. Okay. So see, here it is written, maximum value of voltages between conductors is Vm. Maximum value of voltage between each phase and neutral is Vm by root 3. RMS value of voltage per phase is Vm by root 3 by root 2. So it is coming as Vm by root 6. In the overhead transmission line, this root 3 was absent. So only Vm by root 2 was there, isn't it? And here, but here you have to convert the line value into phase value. So it is coming as root 6. So you directly write the equation P by 3 equal to Vm by root 6 I9 cos phi. So you find out the value of I9. Now for power loss, as there is no fourth conductor, only 3 conductors are there. So power loss is 3 I9 square on 9. So you write this expression, then write A9 in terms of other constants because this is all the same. Okay. And then what you do? You find the volume. For finding the volume also you have to consider 3 conductors. Okay. So 3A9L, ultimately what you are getting in terms of K, you are getting 1.5 by cos square phi. Okay. So you can see that compared to the AC two-phase system where the volume was 2 times, here the volume was 2.914 times, here the volume is only 1.5 times. So AC three-phase system is considered. Okay. So here the volume of conductor material is required is less compared to the AC two-phase system. Okay. And also what if we see the AC single phase system, in single phase system also you find this is 2.5, much higher. This is actually this is 2 times, this is also 2 times, this is also 2.5 times. So it's a single phase system, the volume of conductor material required is more than the AC three phase system. Now this is all about AC three phase three-wire system. What is the difference in AC three phase four-wire system? You know, in AC three phase four-wire system also under balanced condition there is no current in the neutral. So up to this point, calculation of power loss, it will be same as that of AC three phase three-wire system, isn't it? Because everything will remain same. Only one conductor is available and it is not carrying extra conductor is available, though it is not carrying any current under balanced condition. So for power loss, you have to write 3I square R only. Okay, you need not consider neutral conductor. So up to this point, everything will remain same. So A10 will be this one. Only what will happen? Only instead of writing 3 here in three-phase four-wire system, you have to consider the cross-sectional area or the volume of the neutral conductor also. And you know, when it is not carrying any current under balanced condition, we consider or assume the neutral conductor cross-section to be 0.5 that of the outer. So we have to add is 3A9L with 3A9L, we have to add 1.5 A9L. So it will be actually A10. This system is the last system, 10th system. So you write 3.5 A10L. Actually A10 will be equal to, exactly equal to, you substitute this value, ultimately you will be getting 1.75. Actually it is slightly higher as there is 1/4 conductor. Okay. So this is all about the overhead underground transmission system or underground cables. And the comparison table I have shown you in the last class for the overhead transmission lines. This is for the overhead transmission line because this is the maximum voltage between conductor and earth. and this is the maximum voltage between any two conductors. Okay, on the basis of this one, this is written. So this one is for underground cables. So the second column, if you see for underground cables, this is taken as the reference. Okay, this was taken as K. So everything is expressed in terms of this one. So you can compare that. If we consider the DC system, the amount of conductor material is much less with compared to all other systems. Okay, so from the point of view of the amount of conductor material required, only from the point of view of conductor material required or conductor cost, DC transmission system is cheaper. Okay, but there are other costs, because you know there are some disadvantages of DC transmission, because power is generated in AC, it is stepped up by transformer in AC, which is not possible, and step up of voltage is very essential to reduce the losses. So this cannot happen in DC. But what is done, if we use DC transmission voltage, especially high HVDC transmission for long distances, is economical, but there are some extra costs, that is due to the conversion of AC to DC in the generating station, and then again converting DC to AC at the consumer terminals. Okay, but still it has been found for long distance transmission, HVDC is economical. So nowadays it is used. But not only you have to consider the conductor cost, there are so many parameters to be considered. Okay, but if you are asked to compare only the volume of conductor material, DC system is requirement of conductor material in DC system is very less. Okay, and if you compare the AC single phase system with AC three phase system, you will find for the same amount of power transmission, you have to remember all these things, for same amount of power transmission over same distance and for same power loss. Okay, all this should be kept in mind. For same power loss, the AC three-phase system is economical with respect to AC single-phase system. Okay, so AC three-phase three-wire system is used. Clear? For transmission, you have seen that AC three-phase three-wire system is used. Okay, so I will share these notes today. Is it clear up to this point? Then I will discuss some problems.
Yes, ma'am.
If any other students have any question? Okay, so we will solve some problems based on the whatever we discussed today. Both for overhead transmission lines and underground cables, we'll discuss some problems, and you are advised to solve more problems from books, because unless you solve problems by yourself, only by listening, you will feel you have understood, but when you try to solve, you won't be able to solve. So you need to solve more problems. Okay, now let us see. Only I will discuss 6 typical problems. Okay, there are other problems also. So first problem. Okay, now whenever you get one problem, it may not be specified or clearly written whether it is an overhead transmission line or an underground cable, but you need to know, because otherwise voltage consideration is different in the two systems. Okay, but you though may not, if it is not clearly written, but some information will be embedded in the question, you have to get that information. You need not know whether it is overhead or underground, but you need to the information of the voltage, which voltage is kept constant. Okay, that is must be given in the problem. See, this is a typical problem. Say a three-wire DC system is converted to a three-phase four-wire AC system by the addition of another wire equal in cross-section to one of the outers. Okay, so initially the system was DC three-wire system. it is converted to AC system 3-phase 4-wire. So as it is 4-wire, another additional conductor is provided with the same area as that of the outer two conductors. Now what you need to find? Find the percentage additional load that can be supplied for the same effective voltage between the outers and neutral. You see the power is not kept constant here. Say if the power in 3-phase DC system, the power or the load is actually the power, load transfer or the power transfer or load is P1. In AC 4-wire system, it is P2. You have to find what additional, that means what percentage, by what percent P2 is greater than P1. That you have to find out. Or if it is less, you have to find out by what percent P2 is less than P1. Okay. Find the percentage additional load that can be supplied for the same effective voltage between outers and neutral. So what is kept constant? Same effective voltage between outer and neutral. You can understand. It is the
Phase
voltage between, yes, phase voltage. For AC, phase voltage you cannot call it for DC. For DC, it is the voltage between outer and neutral. And for AC, it is phase voltage at the consumer's terminals. Another thing is kept constant because same effective voltage between outers and neutrals and percentage loss. So percentage loss is also kept constant. You know, loss is P loss, I square R, and you have to multiply by the conductors, number of conductors. What is the percentage loss? Percentage loss is P loss expressed as the total power P, nothing else. Okay, percentage loss is P loss by P. The other values are given. Load is balanced, and in AC system, the power factor is 0.95. So these are the values given. Now we should proceed. Let V be the voltage between outer and neutral because it is given to be constant for both the systems. So V is same for both the systems. Okay. But the current will not be same. So in DC system, we'll consider current to be I1. For the AC system, we'll consider current to be I2. Now for 3-wire DC system, first we'll solve. Okay, voltage you have considered. Now we have to consider the same percentage loss. So what we have to do? We have to find the percentage loss in the first system. Then we have to find the percentage loss in the second system, and we have to equate them because they're equal. So in DC system, power supplied P1 is twice VI1. So power loss is 2I1 square R because 3-wire DC system, or you know that for 3-wire there is no current in the neutral conductor, so only 2I square R. So now the percentage loss is P loss by P1. So this is the one, this one. Okay. Now we proceed for AC 3-phase 4-wire system. For AC 3-phase 4-wire system, what is the power? Power is P2, and as this is the phase voltage, you have to use the expression 3V phase I phase cos phi. You cannot write 3VI root 3VI cos phi. Okay, in that case, this is VL. So as this is the phase voltage, use the equation P2 equal to 3V phase I phase cos phi. And V phase is this one. So you write a cos phi, you put the power factor, it is given. So what is the power loss? As it is 3-phase 4-wire and there is no current in the 4th wire under balanced condition. So it is only 3I square R. So you write power loss is 3I2 square R. We have considered I1 current for DC system, I2 current for AC system. So what is the percentage power loss? This one by this one. So percentage power loss is expressed and it is coming as this one. Is it clear up to this point? Can you hear me properly?
Yes,
ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So now it is given percentage losses to be same. So this one, this percentage loss will be equal to this percentage loss. So if we equate these two, you will get relation between actually I1 and I2 because others are same. Resistance is same because they have given additional conductor of same outer. So okay, so resistance is same, and you need not consider whether the neutral is half of cross section. You need not consider because in 3-phase system also, the 3-wire system also there was neutral. Here also there was neutral. That is not disturbed. only one outer conductor is added. So here there is no way the neutral conductor is coming into the picture. Okay. So now percentage power loss for the AC system is this one. So you are equating this one with this one. You are finding I2. Now as soon you have found I2 in terms of I1, so you can directly write down what is P2 in terms of I1. Okay, just write I2 as 0.95 I1. So P1 is twice V I1. P2 you will also get in terms of V and I1. Okay. So P2 you have got 2.71 V I1. Okay. So P1 is 2s V1 and P2 is 2.71 V1. So the question is percentage additional loss. So, percentage additional load. So you can see P2 is greater than P1. So of course there is additional load or increase in load supplied by P2. So what is the percentage increase in load? P2 minus P1, because initially it was P1, now it is P2. So percentage in load is P2 minus P1 into 100. Okay, so P2 is 2.71 VI1, P1 is twice VI1. So, and this one is also twice VI1. So, VI1 is cancelling out. So, 0.71 by 2 into 100%. So, it is coming as 35.5%. Actually, here, if you go thoroughly through this problem, you need not, it is a simple problem, because what you have to consider, everything is given in the question itself. You need not apply any extra knowledge that you have gathered from the last two days and the last class. Okay, it is a very, very simple problem. Everything is mentioned here. Okay, now let us go to the second problem. You have to understand actually from the question itself what to consider and how to consider. See, in this question also it is not given whether it is overhead or underground. See, it is given a three-phase forward AC system is employed for lighting. Now, what voltage you require for lighting? You require phase voltage or line voltage for lighting?
Line voltage.
Why line voltage? Line voltage is 400 volts. Do you require that
Phase
much of
voltage.
voltage?
Phase
voltage,
voltage.
isn't it? Yes. You need phase voltage for lighting, isn't it? If you want to run motors, you need the line voltage. Okay, but normally light fan, it depends on the, it is connected to the phase voltage. So, it is employed for lighting. That means, of course, the phase voltage is considered here. Okay, that means voltage between the line and the neutral. Now, compare the amount of copper required with that needed for a 2-watt DC system with the same lamp voltage. So, the 2-watt DC system is considered and the lamp voltage is kept constant. So, it is clear that you have to consider the voltage between outer and neutral to be constant. Clear? And no question of considering the maximum voltage. Okay, because you see, though we are discussing in terms of maximum voltage, because that is the general consideration. If in the problem something is specified which differs from the general considerations, that you have to consider. Whatever given in the problem, you have to consider. You cannot say that we have derived everything, consider the maximum voltage. Here also we'll consider the maximum voltage. No, here it is given that with same lamp voltage. See, whenever we talk about voltages in AC system, we generally mean the RMS voltage. If we say that 400 volts, what is that voltage? It is the RMS voltage. So here you need not consider maximum voltage. You have to consider the RMS voltage between the outer and the neutral to be constant. Okay. That means you need not apply your knowledge here. Whatever your gathered knowledge here, whatever is given in the problem, that you have to apply. Okay. Now let's proceed. This three-phase 4-watt system. Okay, they are considering DC 2-watt system first. Volume of copper required that needed for a DC 2-watt DC system. Assume balanced load, same losses, that means P loss is also kept same, and neutral having half the cross section of the respective outers. Okay, because in DC2I system there is no neutral, but AC4OI system we have to consider the neutral. Now for DC2I system, P equal to VI, you need not consider VM. So I1 is equal to P by V. Because why you have considered V only, not twice V? Because it is a voltage between one outer and the neutral. So P equal to VI. Now line losses, 2 conductor, 2I square R. So substitute the value of I, then substitute the value of R, you are getting this one. All are constants here. Okay, except the A1, cross sectional area, because that you need to find out, compare the amount of copper required. Okay, in different systems the cross sectional area differs, that's why the volume differs. Okay, so this is actually find out A1 in terms of P loss, because P loss is kept constant, it is given here. So A1 is a constant value, it depends on these values. So volume of conductor material for 2-wire system is this one, just like what we have discussed today and last class. We have found out the volume of copper required for DC2 system. Okay. Now let us go for AC 3-phase 4-wire system. Now 3-phase 4-wire system, same formula will apply. P by 3 equal to VI cos phi. Okay, power where V is the RMS value of each phase. V phase, I phase, cos phi actually. Now, so you apply the same formula. P by 3 equal to VI cos phi. Okay, but and cos phi, I think it is given as unity, power factor. Oh, lamp is given. So you need to know that for lamp, the power factor is 1. Okay, it is resistive. So power factor, you have to consider 1. Okay, so they have not considered power factor here. Not considered means they have considered 1. So P by 3 equal to VI cos phi. And you know, V is given. V is the RMS voltage. I have told you. Same lamp voltage means the RMS voltage. Whenever nothing is mentioned, you should understand, always understand it is the RMS voltage. So simple, write down. P by 3 equal to VI. No need of conversion of maximum to RMS value. Okay. So the power loss is, though it is 4-hour system, no current in the neutral, so 3I square R. So just substitute I2 from here, and R2 is rho L by A2. Of course, A will differ, so you have written A2. So cross-sectional area, we express A2 in terms of all other things. And while finding the volume of copper required, you have to consider the volume of the neutral conductor also. So you have, instead of writing 3, they have written here 3.5. Now one thing, in some problems, this is the conventional. Even if it is not mentioned here, that this is very important, listen carefully. If it is not mentioned that neutral having half the cross section of the respective outers, suppose this sentence is missing, then also you have to write here 3.5, because this is the general rule. Okay, but sometimes if you find here it is written, in some problems you'll find that neutral conductor is having same cross section area as that of the outers, then instead of 3.5 we must write here 4. For the neutral conductor, if the cross-sectional area is same, if it is mentioned in the problem, instead of 3.5, you should write 4. Okay, don't forget that. You cannot argue that why should I write 4? It is generally considered 3.5. No, if it is given in the problem, you have to follow that one. Okay, the other things are same. Now, everything you have got in terms of P, rho, L, P loss, V. Here also you have found out the volume of conductor material in terms of these things. Here also you found out in terms of these values. So just if you compare this one and this one, you will find that it is actually 0.2917 times that of this one. Okay. Actually there is, I think, 1 minute. It is given. I think this will be 2. See, because they have written this one as this one. Okay, so actually this one should
There
be
will
2.
be 4, I think, above.
Which one? This? Oh, acha, this one will be 4. Yes. So please make the change here in problem. This problem. Thank you. This problem 11.2. There has been a typing mistake here. 2 into 2. You can easily understand it will be 4. Therefore, instead of 4p square rho L square by p loss v square, they have put here this value. So they have written the volume of conductor material required is 0.2917 times that of this one. Okay, so you can easily understand, compared to DC two-wire system, this three-phase 4-wire AC system is much more economical. Okay, so you have to read the problem carefully. Most of the students, what they do, they read the problem and they start shouting, data missing, it is not mentioned, whether it is overhead, underground, power factor is not given, and so. Okay, so everything is hidden in the problem. You have to apply your brain and find out. Clear? Now the third problem. What is given here? 60 kilometer long transmission line supplies a load of 6 MVA at 0.8 power factor lagging at 33 kV with a transmission efficiency of 88%. Okay, of course, as the power factor is given, you can understand it is AC system, but it is not given single phase or three phase. Calculate the volume of aluminum conductor required for the line in the following cases: single phase two-wire system, three phase three-wire system. So first you have to consider single phase two-wire system, then you have to consider three phase three-wire system. Resistivity of aluminum is given, so value of rho is given. Okay, now if it is a three-phase system, you know, when nothing is mentioned, you have to consider this voltage given as the line voltage. Don't forget that. If it is given voltage is say 220 kV, what is that voltage in three-phase system? It is a line voltage and of course the RMS voltage. So for single phase system, line phase are all same. So you can find out actually from this data, you know, you have to find out the current. For single phase system, as it is given in MVA, need not consider power factor. For 6 into 10 to the power 6 will be equal to VI. 33 into 10 to the power 3 into I. So you have to find out I. See, they have found out I in single phase system like this. Then the efficiency is given 88%. See, what is efficiency? Efficiency is output by input. And this power is actually the output power, 6 into 0.8 megawatt, isn't it? So 6 into 0.8 is actually 4.8 megawatt. This is the output power. So efficiency is output by input, or efficiency is output by output plus loss. Now if we use this exact formula and find out the loss, it will be little bit different from this one. Okay, you may ask why this one, because this is not the formula. Formula efficiency is output by output plus loss, but generally this approximation is allowed. If the efficiency is given 90%, you can consider loss to be 10%. If the efficiency is given 88%, you can consider loss to be 12% of the output. Okay, output means power transmitted. This approximation is allowed. Okay, so they have found out the loss to be 100 minus 88, that means 12% of the output, and output is 6 into 0.8 megawatt. So in this way they have found the loss. Okay, now once this loss is same, because this data is all these data are same for three phase and single phase system. Only what will differ? Current will differ, because formula for current in single phase and three phase are different, because in three phase 1 root 3 will come. You know, in three phase root 3 VL IL cos phi is equal to power. but in single phase, no √3 will come. So power loss, got this one. We have calculated the power loss, this one. And in DC, in AC two-phase system, it is 2I square R. Only two conductors are there. So power loss is 2I square R. R they have written rho L by A, and I they have obtained. So from here, everything is known. Power loss known, I1 known, rho is given, resistivity, and L is given 60 kilometers. See, resistivity is given in meter. So 60 kilometer, you have to convert it into meter. And whatever A will get, you will get it in meter square. So you have to carefully note in what unit this resistivity is given. So everything is known. So you can find out the cross-sectional area. You will get it in meter square. Okay, the simple calculation. Actually, you need not need not have any knowledge about the conductors, transmission lines, etc. Only from the whatever knowledge you gather from the first year, that is sufficient to solve this problem. And so volume of conductor material is twice A1L, two conductors. And three-phase, three-wire system, you see 1 √3 has come because √3 VI cos theta is equal to power. So I2 is this one. Okay. Now power loss, three-phase system, it is 3I square R. The procedure is same, loss is same, whatever you have calculated here. So 3I square R is equal to this one. So from here you calculate the cross-sectional area A2, and the volume of conductor material will be 3A2L because no neutral conductor is there. It is three-phase, three-wire system. So this is the volume of the conductor material. So it is much less than the volume of the conductor material required for the AC single phase system. Okay. So it may be noted that volume of conductor and hence weight required is less in case of three-phase, three-wire system. Clear? Up to this, is it clear? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now two more problems we'll discuss. Then we'll end today's class. Now you will find similarity between the problems. So I will not discuss else. See, determine the weight of copper. Weight of copper and volume of copper. If you know the volume and if you know the density, then you can easily find out the weight.
Ma'am,
Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
1 minute. Actually, again, I have to disconnect the headphone. Okay, I hope you can listen. So, actually, this whatever given here, this is the line voltage. This is three-phase system. Line voltage is this one. Load is this one. Power factor is this one. The length of the line is 120 kilometers. Okay. Efficiency of transmission is 90%. So you can just write the loss is 10%. The neutral point is earth. Okay. The resistance of 1 kilometer long conductor having 1 centimeter square cross section is given 0.046. Actually, this is a value of rho. Okay. But if you want to find the resistance using formula rho L by A, what you have to do? Actually, you have to use L in kilometer and you have to use A in centimeter square. That is the easiest form. Okay. Rho is, you have to carefully unit of flow. Area is given in centimeter square. Length is given in kilometers. So better not convert this one, just convert A in kilometer and A into whatever A will get from that equation, that will be in centimeter square. Okay. Density is given here. So first part is determine the weight of copper. It is a three-phase system. There is neutral, but neutral point is earth, but no neutral wire because three-phase three-wire system. It is very simple. So I you can calculate from these data √3 VI cos theta. So find out I. Transmission is efficiency is given 90%. So loss is 10%. Output is 80 megawatt. So loss is this one. Now use the formula. What is loss? 3I square R. In three phases, it is 3I square R equal to 8 into this one. They have used the loss in each phase per conductor. Okay. So actually they have used I square R equal to this one by 3. All the same. 3I square R, you can write this one. So what is the resistance? R, you will get this one. 3I square R equal to this one. So R, you will get this one. So this is the R. But R is of course resistance per conductor. Now, what you have to find out? You can neglect this calculation. Just what you can write down R equal to rho L by A. So R, you have got this value. This value. So 115.6 equal to rho, you know. Write down this one. What is L? L is given. What is L? 120 kilometers is given in kilometers. So rho is this one into L. You write is 120 by A. So whatever A you will get it in centimeters. So they have written this is in centimeters. This is A. Okay. So what is the volume? Thrice A into L. Now, of course, for finding out the volume, you have to convert L into centimeter. Otherwise, you cannot find out in centimeter cube. Okay. This is the conductor area A. So while finding the volume, total volume, you need not follow their calculations. They have done in different steps. What is the total volume? 3A into L. A, you have got this one. So 3 into this one into L is 120 kilometer, I think. So that 120 kilometer you express into centimeter. So 3 into 0.0478 into 120 into 1000 into 100. Okay. So get it in centimeter. You will get this one. And weight of copper, you have to multiply this one because density is also given in centimeter cube. So you have found out the volume is centimeter cube. So multiply this one, you will get the weight of copper in Newton. The answer will be this one, or you multiply, divide by 10 cube and write it in kilonewton. Okay. This is for three phase, 3-wire. And you have also, you need to find out the copper required for DC transmission. Okay. But your DC transmission of the same power with equal losses. See, what are the considerations given? Losses are equal. Power is also same. This one, if the power is same, loss will also be same, 10%. Okay. Between the lines, working voltage between the lines. So you have to consider this voltage same. Between the line, voltage between the lines double that of the peak voltage to the earth of the three-phase supply. This is very important. Am I audible properly?
Ma'am, voice is breaking sometimes.
I have to bring my face near. Now, is it better?
Yes, ma'am.
So what you are getting actually, they have mentioned that voltage for DC system, it is between the lines double that of peak voltage to the earth of the three-phase system. So what is the peak? First find out what is the peak voltage. Peak voltage is √2 into 80 kV, isn't it? Peak voltage to earth. So to earth means actually you have to divide it by √3. This is the line voltage. So √380 into 380 into root 2 by root 3, isn't it? According to this value, double will come later on. Double that of the peak voltage to the R. So peak voltage means it multiply it by root 2. Voltage to earth means this is the line voltage. You have to divide it by root 3, and double means you have to multiply it by 2. Okay, these voltage you have to consider for DC 2-watt system. Okay, see what they have considered. RMS value of this voltage is this one, and losses, this is given twice Vm. Yes, DC voltage between the lines is twice Vm. What is Vm? Vm is the maximum AC voltage to neutral. Okay, see, let's solve the problem in a different way. You first, this is your homework. I will not discuss this one. You first solve this problem in this way. Okay, what they have done, they have compared this DC system with the AC system, and they have multiplied and directly found out this one. Okay, this is one method. Another method, what I am telling, you also solve the problem by this way. You follow how they have solved the first part with all the numericals. Okay, so you solve in that way also. That means you have considered the voltage, whatever I have told you, that it is 380 kV divided by root 3. That gives the voltage to R, peak value multiplied by root 2, and double means into 2. You consider that voltage for DC system and follow the steps. Power loss will be same. Okay, for DC system, line current will be I by the same power divided by that voltage what you have got from here. Then you proceed the same way. Only that your total power, you need to consider total power to be this. Okay, and you find out whether you are getting the same answer. Okay, so if you don't get the same answer, you please contact me. Maybe there is something wrong. I have not gone through it properly. If you don't find the answer is not telling, then obviously you should contact me, because it will be difficult if you ask me in the next class. I will be covering something else. So before next Tuesday, you must confirm me whether you are getting the same result. Okay, this is your homework. Now the other one, this one. Okay, these two are very simple. Oh, this is, you need to follow this one. Okay, I am coming the fifth problem last at the end, because the other two problems are very simple. Let us consider the sixth one. An existing single phase AC system. Okay. Single phase AC system comprising of two overhead conductors is converted to three-phase three-wire system by providing an additional conductor of same size. So initially it was single phase two-wire system. Now it is converted to three-phase three-wire system by providing. Calculate the percentage additional load. Load means power, I told you, that can be transmitted by the three-phase system. Okay, that means it is same problem, similar problem, not same problem. That means for the first system, single phase system, we consider power P1. In the second system, we consider power P2. You have to find out what is the increase in load, additional load, percentage additional load means you have to find out P2 minus P1 by P2. Okay, they have considered P3 because it is system, you can consider P2 also. What are the things to be kept constant? If the operating line voltage is kept constant, okay, and percentage loss is kept constant. So it is very simple. For single phase system, P is equal to VI cos phi. Loss is 2 pi square R. So what is the percentage line loss? It is kept constant. So this one by this one. Okay. For three-phase system, power is root 3 VI cos phi, because V is the line voltage. So you cannot use 3 V phase I phase cos phi. You have to use root 3 VL IL cos phi, because it is given. The line voltage is kept constant. So line loss is this one. So percentage loss is this one. Okay. So Now the percentage losses are same. So this one, you should equate this one with this one. Am I being audible properly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now equate this one and this one. So what will you get? You will get actually I1 in terms of I3. Okay, see here they have got I3 in terms of I1. Similarly, P3 they have written in terms of I1. So you can easily see that P3 is twice VI1 cos phi. But for single phase, P1 was VI1 cos phi. So it is exactly double. By addition of a single word, the power transmitted is exactly double than that of the previous system. So the additional load P2 minus P1 by P1 is exactly 100%, isn't it? Power is exactly double. Okay. So this type of problem I have solved earlier also. So hope you have understood. Last problem, you need not follow this one because see, what is the problem? So that for a given amount of power to be transmitted over a given distance, the volume of copper is inversely proportional to the square of the voltage. This we have already derived. We have already derived it during this while discussing the advantages of high transmission voltage. Where we have seen volume of conducting material inversely proportional to V square is proportional to 1 by V square. Okay, that derivation is sufficient for answering this one. Okay, so we are not discussing this one. Let us discuss the last problem. What is the last problem? This problem. Though you may find some extra term coming here, it is very simple. See what is written here. A double circuit three-phase three-wire line. Now you know three-phase three-wire. Actually, when we consider three-phase three-wire, it's a single circuit line. That means three components are Y and B. Sometimes to improve or increase the reliability of the system, you'll find on the same towers two sets of lines are provided. One side RYB, one three phase, another side also RY. So that is called double circuit transmission line. This is for each, or instead of single circuit, double circuit is provided. Right? Sometimes if there is any fault of or any problem is there in one circuit, power can be transmitted through the other circuit. Okay. So that is only double circuit. You need to consider double circuit at the initial stages of
Ma'am, your
calculation.
voice is
Okay.
breaking.
Again breaking. Okay. 1 minute. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, the headphone is again not working. Anyway, you again raise your voice if you don't hear me. Okay. Now see what I told you. Wherever you hear double circuit, you need not consider them at the initial stages of calculations. Okay. Only while considering the volume of conductor material, if it is double circuit, you multiply by 2. If it is triple circuit, you multiply by 3. Okay. So need not get bothered by the terms double circuit or triple circuit. See, a double circuit is three-wire line is converted into triple circuit called two-wire DC line. So DC line is triple circuit and three-phase line is double circuit. So you proceed for the calculation just like previous cases, and after see for here DC line, all the calculations are normal for single circuit. Only one as the DC line is triple circuit, lastly they multiply it by 3. Okay. Similarly, for three-phase line also, they have do all the calculations on per phase basis, and lastly, as it is what? As it is double circuit, they have considered instead of 3, they have written, they have multiplied it by 2. Not instead of 3, with 3 is there. Okay, normally 3 is there for single circuit. As it is double circuit, they have brought an extra multiplier 2. Okay. So you need not be confused with that. See the calculations. See the calculations are very normal. But this is equal to VI. So I is P by V. So I square R for both the conductors is 2I square R. So everything is same. But total line losses for 6 conductors. It is just you have to multiply it by 3. Okay. So please read the problem. We have not read the full problem. Is converted to triple circuit 2.4 AC line with same maximum voltage to R as that of the AC line. Okay, maximum voltage to R. So calculate the percentage loss increase in the capacity of the line if the transmission loss remains unchanged. That is, P loss is kept constant and power factor is considered unity. So here this calculation, I hope you have understood. Everything is same. For I square loss, instead of 2 conductors, as it is triple circuit, you have to multiply by 3. Okay, so this is the power loss. Now for AC system, what is given? Maximum value of voltage between outer and neutral is V volts. Okay, for this is given. Why? Because maximum voltage to R is kept constant. Okay, with the same maximum voltage to R. So whatever V we have considered here, that V is the maximum voltage to the R. Okay, so RMS value of the voltage you have to divide it by root 2. Okay, be careful about this one because it is the whatever V we have considered for DC, it is actually maximum voltage to R. So you have to convert to RMS value and proceed in the same way. What is the loss or what is the power? 3 V phase, I phase, cos phi. So V phase is this one. So find out I2. Find out the line loss is 3I square R and it is a double circuit line. So total line loss you have to multiply it by 2. Okay, this is the only difference. You have to multiply this one by 2. Okay, now the power losses are equal in the 2 cases. It is given. Okay, the power losses are equal. Transmission losses remain unchanged. So you equate these two, the losses, and find out the P1 in terms of P2. You will get this one, just like at the previous cases. Okay. So percentage increase in the supply is same, P2 minus P1 by P1. So 2.12 minus 1 by 1. So into 100. So it will be 112%. Okay. Is it clear for everybody? Hello, if you are satisfied, I will end the class here for today.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So I will share